Do you know what is one of the most common regrets of dying people? Not doing actually what they wanted in life. This makes you think, right? How to avoid regrets at the deathbed. This book will show exactly how to actually do what you listed in your bucket list and build a life filled with experiences. Let's dive right in. Here are the 10 most important lessons from The Experiential Billionaire, written by Bridget Hilton and Joe Huff. Lesson 1. Urgency. Our life is finite. We as a society don't like to even think about death. It's a shame. Death can actually make us aware that our days are counted. Our life will end someday. Some people wake up when they have a near-death experience and then start truly living without regrets. If you were to die in 1 year, what are the things that you would absolutely do? How about 1 month? And if only 1 day is left? Grab a pen and paper, draw up these 3 columns, and list whatever comes to mind. It will bring such a great deal of clarity, I promise. Now observe, what are the common patterns? Have you been working on any of the listed items to bring them to life? If not, why not? Just to give some perspective, the global average lifespan is around 73 years. Let's say you are 40, it means you have 33 summers left. If you visit your family once a year, it means 33 visits. If you travel once a year, it means 33 destinations. If you repeat visiting the same locations, it could be around 20 new places. Not to even mention, sadly, some of us depart sooner. Do you see now how short life is? Good. Then let's make the most of the precious time with the next lessons. Lesson 2. Vision. Now envision your rich life. What would make it fulfilling, enriching? We were taught to see richness in piles of money, but how about our experience billions? That is another form of wealth. How would your experientially rich life look like? What do you do? With whom? Where? What is the one place you always wanted to visit? List all of it. This is your treasure map. Now check your map and see if any of the following 5 factors are met. If none, then cross it from the treasure map. 1. Things that support taking care of you mentally and physically, like diet, exercise, meditation, etc. 2. Connecting to others, spending time with your family, making new friends, joining clubs, etc. 3. Expanding via exploration, challenges, learning. It could mean books, travel, and so on. 4. Anything that brings you joy, like laughter, play, peace, silliness. And 5. Serving others, volunteering, and so on. Hooray! You're done. You have done already what very few people do. Defined what you want to do. Now let's bring them to life with the next lesson. Lesson 3. No excuses. You know why people don't actually do what they promise themselves to do? Look at poor New Year's resolutions. Majority are dead by February. It is not because of the economy, the Prime Minister, or even the planetary transits. It is because of excuses. You want to know the most common ones? Here they are. I don't do what I wish to do because I don't have time. I don't have money. I have a lot of work. I am tired. I'm not in the mood. And so on. Let's look at them more closely, shall we? Not having time. Let me ask you something. What is your screen time? Go and check. It's right in your settings. How many hours do you spend on other screens like Netflix, TV? Are you telling me that there is no 30-minute a day that you can spend on planning one part of one item in your treasure map? Next excuse, money. I bet you can come up with 3 free activities in a second that do not need you to open a wallet. Watching a sunrise, going for cycling, chatting to a friend. Whilst you plan and save for your big-ticket experiences like overseas travel, fill your calendar with small-ticket items that are accessible and free. For big-ticket items, calculate the amount you would need and add it to your saving plan or budget. Finally, the excuse around too much work, being tired, not being in the mood. The question is the item on your treasure map important to you? Like at the end of your life, would you regret not experiencing it? If yes, just take note when the excuse arises and act in spite of it. Define the smallest possible step that you can take to get closer to the one goal and do it. The next monster to fight is Lesson 4. Fear. Once you get up from the couch motivated to do what you set out to do, expect doubts and fear to appear like, I cannot do it, I don't have enough ... I'm not brave enough. I'm not organized enough. I don't deserve it. I might not actually want it. What will others say about me? Will they laugh about me having this silly goal? Can I do it? If you are not hurting anyone, you don't need to ask for permission. Just go for it. Fear is inviting you to evolve. Hiding from fear will make your world smaller, so much so that things will be debilitating to do. An example I heard recently, there is a person who did not leave the house for a long period of time, so much so that a panic reaction evolved from it, and now she is afraid to leave the house because there must be something dangerous outside. Prove your brain that there is nothing to fear. Go outside. Soon enough, it will be second nature. I know it's easier said than done, but discomfort is how you pay for amazing experiences. Lesson 5. The Someday Syndrome. Have you ever said to yourself, oh, I would love to do or go to ... I will do it someday. Catch the someday syndrome and ask, okay, but when? Assign a date. Is it this month? Next year? Add a placeholder in your calendar. This will instantly get your juices going and ideas will flow. I bet I can do this during this week, utilizing a national holiday and adding to it a couple of days. As the author says, what gets scheduled, it gets done. The enriching life experience from your treasure map goes first into your calendar, and then after the life maintenance stuff like groceries, errands, cleaning, and so on. Not vice versa. Otherwise, the small life maintenance activities will take up all of your time. Imagine a big glass bowl. If you fill it with the sand first, you will not be able to add the big, beautiful stones in. But if the big stones come first, then the smaller pebbles, you will still have room for the sand to fill the gaps. The big stones are the high return experiences from your treasure map, like the memorable trips, activities shared as your highlights on social media. The smaller pebbles are lower return on investment items that require lower effort and are more accessible, like cooking a new recipe. Combine both in your life. Generally speaking, the higher effort you put in, the more you will take out. But high effort items could make us overwhelmed, right? Where to even start? Here is how. Select one high ROI item from your treasure map. Then break down into very small steps. For example, if it is a travel abroad, a small task could be looking at flights, accommodation research, checking local cuisines, estimating how much cost it would take, defining how many days are optimal, and so on. Schedule these tasks in your calendar. Start with estimating the high-level cost range today. Think about how can these tasks be made easier to do them. Then think about a self-imposing consequence to make it inconvenient bailing out, for example, non-refundable ticket. Then check if you can find an accountability partner who is also interested in it or whom you promise you will do it. As you do these steps, the likelihood of you actually doing and following through on your goal will go through the roof. The author paints the perfect picture. Having an idea or goal equals to 10% likelihood to complete the goal. Consciously deciding you do it, 25%. Scheduling on the calendar, 40%. Planning how to do it, 50%. Committing to someone you will do it, 65%. Having a specific accountability appointment with someone you are committed to, 95%. Sooner or later, the goal that made you overwhelmed and debilitated is coming true and yielding you high returns. Finally, to get you even more excited and prepared, brainstorm 5 lower return events that are tied to your high ROI event and schedule them. If you plan to visit Italy, for example, to explore the local cuisine, then small events could be watching an Italian movie, learning Italian on Duolingo for 10 minutes a day, making a pizza at home. This way, the time leading up to the trip will be filled with exciting activities. Lesson 6. Turn negatives into positive. The author highlights that we tend to focus on the positive experiences like trips taken, grand romantic moments, and so on. But it can be deeply meaningful and transforming to go through tough life situations, overcome the obstacles, and come out as a hero on the other end. In a survey of 20,000 people, 1/3 of them reported a negative event as their most valuable life experience. For example, getting laid off, divorce, homelessness, relative having cancer. These experiences were extremely painful to go through, but it made them grow in many aspects. They became more appreciative of life and their relationships, realized how strong and capable they can be when faced with obstacles, or even found that the painful event was a blessing in disguise and their life was happier after than before. The author talks about her depression and how healing experiences changed her for the better, and whilst other novel experiences helped her to take off the focus from the suffering and easing the weights for a moment whilst she was healing. If you have a tough situation from the past that you are holding on to, can you pinpoint what did that experience made you gain? If it is related to the loss, what are the aspects that you are grateful for from the time being together? If you are going through a hard situation right now, define what are the contributing factors. Out of these, which are out of your control, gently let them go. Now define what is in your control and act on it. Finally, please ask for help. You don't need to go through this alone. Which ties perfectly with the next part. Lesson 7. Connections. A life filled with rich experiences is tightly connected to our relationships. First and foremost, let's focus on the relationship with yourself. Experiences like a solo travel can help you learn about yourself. For example, what do you like to do when no one is around to compromise to? How you react to events when no other opinion is around? Also, you meet more new people and can make more connections when solo traveling compared to when doing it with a partner, because then most discussions happen with the partner. Don't get me wrong, that is not an issue. Everything has its place and it's all about balance. Combine having trips with a partner for the exact reason to have a shared experience with that person, and do solo travel also. Be open to meeting new people and reconnect with the people whom you lost touch with. List these individuals and schedule when you will reach out to them. Lesson 8. Play. As adults, we are conditioned to be productive all the time and always focus on important to-dos and achieve certain outcomes. This is the killer of play. In most cases, we are afraid that others will judge us if we spend time on quote-unquote silly playing that yields no specific outcome or results. Worst yet, we might judge ourselves. If you need more data to persuade yourself on the effectiveness of play, then here you go. Play boosts brain plasticity, can help you become more creative at problem solving. Plus, have I mentioned it is fun and joyful? As adults, we tend to put play to the lowest end of the priority list and eventually we forget to do it. So here are some examples to get you started. 1. Friendly competitions. With your friends, you could do many fun competitions with a prize at the end for the winner. For example, pumpkin carving competition where the scariest or funniest wins, or pancake eating competition where the fastest eater wins. Laughter is guaranteed with the last one. 2. Creating without expectations. Grab glitter, glue, paper, paintbrush, and craft anything your heart desires. It does not need to be beautiful or useful. You could do friendship bracelets or paint each other with a friend. 3. Laugh. Laughter releases stress and boosts your mood. Organize a joke-telling event with your friends or family. Have everyone wear a costume and rate each other. Play Just Dance, rent a bounce castle, and so on. 4. Reconnect with your inner child. Eat your favorite food from when you were a kid. Watch the movies you liked. Play with the toys you enjoyed. Host a sleepover. Schedule the playtime and observe yourself. What excuses are coming up? Act in spite of them. Lesson 9. Lifelong learning. Learning is an enriching experience. What are the skills you always wanted to learn? Like playing an instrument, speaking a new language, doing sport, cooking, painting, dancing, gardening, writing, public speaking, taking photographs, or something else? What intrigues or excites you the most? Follow that. Start by being a beginner, which I know is super hard. We want to be excellent at something from the get-go and not have others see our first step struggles. But why not embrace it? It will be such a good feeling to compare your first day with the 100-day progress. If you want to progress even faster, then find a mentor or sign up for a class. Ask yourself if you need to save to fund the learning. If so, plan it in your budget. Schedule the first step on your calendar. Lesson 10. Giving. Volunteering is a meaningful experience that boosts happiness and satisfaction with life. The more you experience from the world, the more you can provide to others and the greater feeling you will get. Pay attention to the someday syndrome telling, I will volunteer when I will have no debt anymore or when I will not have a busy calendar. No, start now. Don't try to find the most worthwhile cause because that will overwhelm you. Plus, you will not stick with it if it's not your personal interest but valued only by society. What interests you? I liked how the author said, our planet needs help in many different ways. Research the organization. What do they use their resources on? How effective are they? How are they impacting society with their activities? What are the results? Check how can you get involved even with monetary donation, but also hands-on. I used to have the image in my head that volunteering is mainly working in a soup kitchen and giving soup to the homeless. But there are so many other options. You can talk to elderly and provide them company, get involved in organizing camps for children, walking dogs at the shelter, setting up a website for an organization, organizing a fundraising event, and so on and so forth. Look at what you're good at and bring that to the table. That is it for the 10 lessons from The Experiential Billionaire written by Bridget Hilton and Joe Huff. What is your main takeaway? What is the one action you will do today? If you enjoyed this summary, you are welcome to like and subscribe. Pick up the book if you would like to dig deeper into. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.